Got the bins on, folks, 'cause I'm going to read you something. Do you ever listen to radio? I don't listen to a lot. But what I listen to, I really, really love. All I tend to listen to is this. These aren't ever straight. These aren't, Sounds of the 70s, love it. Desert Island Disc, when it's someone I like, love it. What else do I listen to? There's one other thing, and I can't think what it is. All right, Pick of the Pops. It used to be Gambo, it's now Steve Wright. But I only listen when it's the 70s. That's my favourite era, because it's when I was a kid. And I love the 70s. So when the 70s are on, I listen to that. And that's it. But I also listen to the odd comedy show. If there's a comedy show on there, and it's someone I think I might like, I listen to it. I've got two for you. Two recommendations. You might not listen to any. That's up to you. But I'm going to give them you anyway. Listen to something that I recorded about 2 or 3 days ago. Maybe a week ago now. It was on, I think, Radio 4 or Radio 4 Extra. I believe it's part of an ongoing series, but there are only let out every now and again. I believe it was number 11. I've not heard the first 10. From a guy called Henry Normal. Now, I know the name. I've heard of him before. Didn't know what he looked like. Still don't, because it was on the radio. Anyway, he is the fella that, along with Craig Cash and Carolina Hearn, I think they wrote The Royal Family. And I think he's wrote a lot of things with Craig Cash. He's a bit of a mucker of Craig Cash's. That's a bit of a northern word if you don't know what it means. If you don't, go look it up. Well, you'll find it, I don't know, but he's a bit of a mucker of Craig Cash's. He was recording something recently in Bury, as my mates used to call it, but I call it Bury, which is just up the old M62 there, about 20 miles from where I live, in front of a live audience. I thought it was fantastic. It was about half an hour, 40 minutes of a show. I must admit I heard it whilst reading, so it's difficult trying to do both. I'm not good at multitasking, but I still thought it was absolutely brilliant. He was talking about all manner of things, reading poems that he wrote himself, all extremely funny. I thought, no wonder the things that he's wrote that have been on the TV are good, because this guy is a genius, a comic genius. It was brilliant. And now I'm going to look out for further shows within the series and try to listen to them. I thought it was great. If you get a chance to listen to it, folks, you can't watch it on the radio. Give it a listen. I promise you it was good. Henry Normal. Very, very, very clever. Very, very, very witty. Which takes me to something else. Something that I happened to notice today when I'm looking through the TV and radio schedules for over Christmas time. I found a little nugget. Now, this fella is very much in vogue at this moment in time, because he's just been the major star in the big Sky Atlantic production of Succession. Yes, that's the show that's tipped to win most all of the awards when the big award season comes round just after Christmas time. The TV awards. Is it the Emmys? I think it is. And it's Brian Cox. No, not the fellow that looks at the stars and all that palaver. The Scottish actor. Getting on a bit now. But I like Brian, I really do. Seen him in something, a bit of an off-the-wall thing, 10, 15 years ago now. One of the funniest things I'd seen in years, because I like a bit of comedy, do I? I like a bit of comedy. It was on for about 4 episodes, maybe 6 at most, probably on BBC Two. Very obscure comedy. Never heard of it since, never heard of it mentioned, and I thought it was something that should have been much, much higher up in the ratings than it was, and should have had a primetime slot on BBC Radio, BBC One, not Radio 1, BBC One. It never got that. It was called, it's in the paper here, Bob Servant. He was playing a bloke called Bob Servant, and what is he? He's the 3rd most successful cheeseburger van opener in the little town where he works in, that there Scotland. That's what he is. And he's a bit of, I think, of a failed politician. I think he does a bit of politics there, a bit on the old local councils, if memory serves. I've not seen him for 10, 50 years. Anyway, I see it's on the radio. When's it on? Wednesday at 11:30am on Radio 4. This Wednesday, coming up, well, next Wednesday, 11:30am Radio 4. If you get the chance, folks, record it if you've got Sky or whatever. Listen to it. I think you'll like it. It's different. It's really, really different. And it's something that Brian did before he was famous in Succession, because that's what's really made his name over the last 3 or 4 years. I think it's funny. I think you will too. Pity not many of you will see this message, but the ones that do, and the ones that think on, go to your Sky Planner and record it and tell me what you think. I think you'll like it. And if you can get the old series, the old TV series, maybe on YouTube, I'm telling you, it's worth a watch. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny.